Hello everyone, thanks for clicking on a driving tour video in our driving tour playlist. Before you watch each of these videos, be sure to click on the little gear icon here for settings on YouTube, go to the quality for the playback, and play this in 4K if at all possible. The idea is that you just want to make sure you're watching this in the highest resolution that your internet bandwidth will support so the picture isn't all pixelated. Thanks.
Hello everyone. If you're interested in checking out what we call the Corvallis Loop, this is going to be a short narrated driving tour of the borders of Corvallis as they appear on the main map. So we are starting in downtown and we're going to take a short drive just in a circle around the city, and here we go. So I'm Michael Krasilovsky with Remax in Corvallis. I run Team K Realty out of the downtown office, and we are just crossing over 3rd and now getting to 4th Street, and we're going to point south on 4th Street. 4th Street is also known as Highway 99. As it goes through downtown, it basically unzips as 3rd and 4th Street. If you'd like, by the way, a full-length narrated driving tour of Corvallis neighborhoods, we will put a link to that in the cards on the screen right now. All right, here we go. So it's a beautiful fall day. We'll have the sun in our eyes a little bit, but we're driving in a circle, so that's inevitable. We are pointed south on 4th Street, south on 99. If we keep going straight in either of the two center or left lanes, we go into Southtown, but we are going to veer right and go onto Willamette Boulevard, also known as Highway 20, also known as Highway 34, because why give a street just one name? And this is going to look like a kind of overpass going onto a highway for a second. Technically it is Highway 34, but as you'll see, this is basically just part of the main drag in Corvallis. So now we are pointed west, and straight ahead of us you can see some buildings that are part of campus. Reeser Stadium is at about noon, 1 o'clock on the screen. And this is Highway 34, also known as Willamette Boulevard, because if you keep going, about 5 minutes after you leave Corvallis, you end up in Willamette, the small town of about 5,000 people that is to the west of to the west of Corvallis. And what I'm thinking as I make this driving tour for you guys is that if you're totally new to town, you might be driving downtown and all of a sudden be faced with those on-ramp, off-ramp sort of looks with highway signs that say coast. And I don't want you to freak out and think you're about to end up on a highway going to the coast without being able to get back into Corvallis neighborhoods. Right now, we are just driving west in Corvallis. We've got the country club neighborhoods to the south of us. We've got campus to the north of us, to the right. And we're gonna just take this until it gets to what I view as the southwest corner of town, at least as it looks on the map, which is Willamette Boulevard and Southwest 53rd Street. Once we hit that corner, we're going to turn north on 53rd Street. As we make these resources for you, please keep in mind that if we can help you out in any way as professional real estate agents here in town, that's what I actually do for a living, is I help people buy and sell homes, but I'm also happy to be a resource for you if you need some advice as you get settled into a rental, for example, too. There are a lot of campus-close neighborhoods immediately north of us to the right. And up ahead, there's a couple of traffic lights where we have a shopping complex. There is a Safeway and a Bi-Mart. Safeway is a major grocery store in town. Safeway's got a southwest location coming up here, a downtown location, as well as a northeast location. Bi-Mart, think of it as like a mini Costco. There is a Costco actually in Albany, Oregon, about 25 minutes from here. And Bi-Mart is $5 here for lifetime membership. There's 2 locations in town, one up here in Southwest. And Bi-Mart's filled with dry goods, electronics, sporting goods, gardening supplies, pharmacy, stuff like that. All right, so we've got some fast food joints here. There's like a Burger King and a Subway sandwich. There's a gas station, car wash. The grocery store and Buy Mart that I mentioned, Mexican restaurant, dollar store, Chinese food up here, Blue Sky, Chinese food. So a little mini shopping complex, and this is what Corvallis feels like. You've got a lot of little pods of little strip malls, 9th Street and downtown for shopping. This is that southwest corner of town. If we keep going straight, we'd head into Philomath. We're going to go north on 53rd. So one of the things that's neat about this community is that it seems like no matter where you are, you're only maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes from downtown, and maybe 15 minutes corner to corner in the whole city. So southwest Corvallis in this spot, we're pointed north on 53rd. It feels very quiet. You can see there's kind of farm fields here. You can see Bald Hill and Dimple Hill in the distance. We had a view of Mary's Peak. I forgot to mention it when we were pointed west. And even though it feels really quiet here, you've got neighborhoods off to the left, such as Grand Oaks. Again, see the full narrated driving tour if you want to get into those neighborhoods with us. And one of my rentals, one of my duplexes, is just behind us on 53rd Street, and it's next to a farm field, as I've said before in some of our other videos, but it's basically never empty because our residents always say how easy it is to get to campus and downtown from there, even though we're on this southwest corner of town here. It might be hard to identify on the screen right now, but parallel and adjacent to 53rd, the whole way on the left there's a paved biking path and walking path. And that connects all the way into downtown, goes north to the end of this street, where we'll see it end as this turns and becomes Walnut Boulevard, and also squiggles through a few other parts of town. The intersection we have right here is with Reservoir Avenue, and if we want to go to Philomath another way instead of Philomath Boulevard, this is like the back way to Philomath, just popping over onto Reservoir Avenue, going behind Grand Oaks, and then ending up in kind of mid-Philomath or West Philomath if you keep going over on West Hills Road. This is the Benton County Fairgrounds. Benton County Fairgrounds, really great venue. The farmers market goes indoors there in the wintertime. Right now it is still downtown, if I recall correctly. It's late October as we are filming. You'll notice the bike path also connects over here towards campus. There's a little separator. And the light up ahead now is where 53rd intersects Harrison Boulevard and Oak Creek Road, if I'm recalling the names correctly. So if we go right onto Harrison Boulevard, which is exactly what we do in the full-length driving tour of town, we start getting very quickly into neighborhoods like College Hill and getting right near campus. If we go left into Oak Creek, then we've got some neighborhoods that are up in the West Hills. And we have a separate video that we'll be working on and posting sometime soon as kind of like an expansion pack to the Tour of Town main video, showing some of those further removed neighborhoods. As we cross through that intersection, we are now in northwest Corvallis as opposed to southwest Corvallis. You've got some Oregon State University horse facilities off to the left. OSU is the land-grant institution in the state, so you've got a lot of agricultural research, a lot of veterinary science, so a lot of farming and agriculture going on in this area. Looks like they're doing a little bit of work on that path, but you can actually see there's a person walking on it. So that's where that is, parallel and adjacent, separate from the road the whole time right here. And right up here is where our quiet stretch ends. We are now going to be getting back into neighborhoods very quickly. And as 53rd Street turns east. They changed the name to be Walnut Boulevard, which on the map looks like the top end of town, the top border of the main part of town. Obviously, there are neighborhoods up in the hills, but as far as the main part of the map looks, that's kind of the top. We have got neighborhoods off to the left behind this park. This is Martin Luther King Jr. Park, one of many public green spaces in the city of Corvallis. Got lots of parks. And Ponderosa Ridge is new construction going in behind here. And Witham Hill neighborhoods are kind of off to the right here. It is a gorgeous October day. I love seeing these trees change color. And one of the nice things about living here is that we do have all 4 seasons, but they're really mild. So you do get a little bit of summer, there's a little bit of heat, but not everyone even has air conditioning. It's not a standard here yet. In the wintertime, it does get cool. There will be a little bit of frost, occasional snow, but no one here knows how to drive in it, and we're not really set up for it anyway. And in the fall and springtime, it's lush. There's a lot of drizzle, but also some dramatic skies and neat cloudscapes, and it doesn't actually rain like it does on the East Coast, where you have really big rainstorms, big rain droplets. It just kind of drizzles on and off. And it's green all winter, because half of what we got is deciduous, half of what we have are deciduous, and half of what we have are evergreen. So it's still very lush and very green, even in the wintertime. All right, at this spot, 53rd Street is now turning into Walnut Boulevard, and we are now heading east as we continue through the very quick Corvallis Loop. Walnut Boulevard, let's see. This is a main artery, as you can see. There's 4 lanes of traffic, but speed limits are low, 35 miles per hour. There's bike lanes, so, Corvallis does not really have bad traffic. Off to the right, we have Hoover Elementary School. Hoover is a really sought-after elementary school. It's being rebuilt right now because we are still during the global health crisis in 2020. And up the hill behind Hoover, we have Witham Hill. Off to the left, just north of Walnut, we have got the Timber Hill neighborhoods, which again, if you'd like to check out, we have a full narrated driving tour of. All right, and the intersection up ahead right here is Northwest 29th Street and Walnut. So the main part of the Timber Hill neighborhoods are right up there on Northwest 29th as you go by the Timber Hill Athletic Club, which is a really nice private athletic club in the area. As we continue east on Walnut Boulevard, parallel to this the whole way is Northwest Circle Boulevard. Circle's a little bit of a misnomer because most of it is a straight line, but it is another kind of main artery that you'll see on the map that's just kind of a block south of us here, going all the way over through town as well. Got the Timber Hill Meadows Apartments on the left there. And this neck of the woods has a lot of professional offices and medical offices. So this brick building up ahead and all the brick buildings on the right, there's lots of dentists, Corvallis Clinic offices, family medicine, general practitioners, and more dentists. They've really got you covered with the whole tooth thing. For some of our for some of our original Team K Realty fans, if you're watching this just for fun, thank you. You'll recognize, of course, that our previous RE/MAX office used to be right over here, but we are now downtown. The Timber Hill Shopping Center is another one of those little strip malls, and we've got Winco 24/7 groceries in there, some little restaurants, coffee shops, hobby shops, pet supplies, stuff like that. And as we're doing this tour, it's right after lunchtime on a weekday. You're seeing really typical traffic, which is to say that there isn't much. Some gorgeous, gigantic trees up ahead, right in the center there. Not sure if they are sequoia or Doug fir, but one of the things I love about living in the Pacific Northwest is you've got these amazing, huge trees all over the place. We've got a lot of starter homes in the neighborhood off to the right, which is south of us, in between Walnut and Circle Boulevard. Lots of like 3-bedroom, 1,000 square foot to 1,400 square foot ranch-style homes built in the 50s and 60s, Harmon homes we call them, from the builder John Harmon. If we were to go left and follow that car up Highland, we would go up the hill, down the hill, and then we would end up in the middle of a grass field, and one of the high schools is right up there. So just north of us on Highland is Crescent Valley High School. You got 2 public high schools in the city of Corvallis, Crescent Valley and Corvallis High School. So CHS is kind of in the downtown area, and CV is up a little bit further removed. Big rivalries there. Apparently we can't all get along, but they seem like they're pretty friendly rivalries. CHS, Corvallis High School, is a fairly newer building, and it's walking distance to Fred Meyer's grocery store and some coffee shops. CV, Crescent Valley, is an older building, but it's kind of chunked up a little bit more like a college campus would be, with different buildings for different subjects. I think that's really cool. And it's an older building, not walking distance to, coffee shops or food. So there's a bit of a rivalry there, but you've got fantastic, high-quality education regardless. All right, let's see. Decision time. We are at the intersection with 9th Street, and we can take 9th Street to downtown, show off all the shopping and commercial stuff, and we're going to do that. If we want to go 100 yards past 9th Street, we have got the next intersection with Highway 99, and that would be the shortcut to downtown. Just a quick little 5-minute jaunt, boom, we're in downtown, and we end up right back on 4th Street, essentially where we started. For this one, let's just show off 9th Street, and you can see some of the retail, commercial, shopping stuff as we get back into downtown. Really, either works. All right, so what do we have since we're on 9th Street? We've got fast food, we've got normal restaurants, we've got our local rock and gem shop, we've got coffee shops, we've got the bowling alley, car dealerships, grocery stores, all that stuff. This is the intersection with Circle Boulevard, and so right there off to the left, you can see that there's the north location of the Corvallis Bi-Mart. I mentioned them as we passed by in southwest Corvallis, in the southwest corner, so kind of like a mini Costco, lots of dry goods and stuff like that there. If you go just a skip over to the east of us and go through 9th Street's intersection and then through 99's intersection, you end up just over there on Circle Boulevard as you approach the Hewlett-Packard and NewScale campus. Those are right there. And you also have got things like Home Depot, Winco, Farm and Agricultural Supplies, a Carmike 12 or AMC 12-screen movie theater, bunch of stuff that's right there. Off to the right, behind the Rite Aid, we have got a Market of Choice. Market of Choice is a Pacific Northwest chain grocery store, and it is kind of analogous to a Fresh Market or a Whole Foods. Got some local credit unions. Off to the right, by the Office Max, there's a sushi place on a little conveyor belt, like fast food sushi. Love that place. Great ramen restaurant right by them as well. And that's Sugoi Sushi and AI Ramen. Got coffee shops, got your Dutch Brothers there. If you're moving into town, right over here, you've got your Bed Bath & Beyond as well, where you can get lots of home goods, obviously. This little intersection with Garfield, you've got Spaeth Lumber, so kind of like a mini but local Home Depot. Great lumber, hardware supplies, and El Sol de Mexico. Love that Mexican restaurant, they're great. Off to the right here, as we pass by, you've got pasta restaurant, Pastini's, you've got Trader Joe's, TJ Maxx, you've got an Ulta, a Michael's Craft Store, and you've got your Comcast Xfinity office to pick up cable modems and stuff like that. Chateau Home Furnishings, self-explanatory. Go say hi to Ed in there. Play It Again Sports, great place to get new and used sporting goods. Frisbee golf, disc golf is very popular in this area, so if you are a fellow disc golfer, they have tons of discs there right on 9th Street. Disc golf, quick shout out. Got an 18-hole course in Adair, about 15 minutes north of us, still kind of Corvallis. 18-hole course in Willamette Park in Southtown Corvallis. A 9-hole park in Philomath at the Philomath Middle School. And a 9-hole course in Philomath at Mary's River Park. So it's kind of like Mecca for disc golf here. Goodwill, College Town, lots of furniture there. Right across from Goodwill is the ARC Resale Center, and they've got usually even nicer furniture there. Sherry's Restaurant, kind of like a Greasy Spoon, 24/7, kind of like a Denny's from the East Coast. Elmer's, really good breakfast. We just passed Buchanan, so about 1 minute to the west of us on Buchanan is CHS, Corvallis High School, that I mentioned a little bit earlier. We've got some pizza shops here, Sabelli's Pizza, Samaritan Square off to the left, medical supplies, but also Sam Fit, associated with Samaritan Regional Medical Center. And Sam Fit as a fitness club is getting rave reviews. Also, right here is the main campus location for LBCC, the Lynn Benton Community College. Very big draw in this town. A lot of great adult ed classes and really good stuff there. And as you notice, in this particular spot on 9th Street, the bike lanes for some reason disappear, and we get right back into downtown. So poof, now it's residential again. This is Harrison Boulevard. So Harrison is the 2-lane bridge coming into downtown. And then the next intersection is Van Buren, which ultimately is the 1-lane bridge going out of downtown, with I-5 about 15 minutes further east of that bridge. So we're going to take this just back into downtown so that you can see the rest of the loop, and I hope this is a good resource for you, as always. Classic Prius driver. I'm the slow car who didn't want to go through as it turned red. So now you get to wait with me at the intersection for a second. All right. Turning on Van Buren. And ahead of us, if it were around 5 p.m., is where the Corvallis traffic jam takes place, as everyone jockeys for position to get into the center lane to go over the bridge as they commute out of downtown at the end of the day. So, public service announcement, just don't block those intersections, people. Our police force is very good at their jobs, and they make a point of giving tickets to people who are blocking those intersections. So always be sure that you can actually move forward if you do so. All right, we are now back with 4th Street, which is, as I said earlier, basically just Highway 99 unzipped as it goes through downtown. So here we go, back on 4th Street, headed south at the moment. Benton County Courthouse is off to the right, symbol of the city and the county seat. And folks, we're going to end it up here. In just a moment, we'll get right back to that whole like overpass, underpass situation. Again, if this is helpful for you, please do let us know in the comments below. And if you have any other requests or ideas for future videos, especially if they're narrated driving tours of certain neighborhoods or parts of town or commutes, please do let us know so we can make that happen for you. We're never too busy for you here in the Mid-Willamette Valley. Most of my clients in real estate are buying and selling in Corvallis, Willamette, and Albany, but I work the whole Mid-Valley, and I'd be happy to be part of your team. So thanks so much, and have a great rest of the day. Bye for now.